Let's go with unhappy and unlucky.
Right. So people that are unhappy and unlucky, and if you've read the 48 Laws of Power, I think it's law number 10 for Robert Greene. And I think it's incredibly important and often overlooked for guys, especially when it comes to dealing with women. Um, a lot of women that have a victim mindset, oh, poor me. A couple of decades ago, this acronym popped up and became real popular, FML, which stands for F My Life. And a lot of women will, purport or hold out publicly that they're victims of things. My boss is this. My call Becky in HR did this, that, and the other thing. Their car's never working. It's got bumps and scratches and dings in it all over the place, and it's always somebody else's fault. The thing with women that are always unhappy, unlucky, and inviting chaos in their life, it's generally because they hold a terrible belief system that is used to make choices that generate awful results. And, you always become the average of the people that you spend the most time with. And if you're going to deal with a woman on a long-term basis that is unhappy and unlucky and makes bad choices and has bad results, she's basically going to make her problems your problems. One of the other issues with that too, which kind of leads into the victim mindset, is if a woman is always the victim of something, the leader of my country, the government, my boss, he's a whatever, then being a victim requires that you have an oppressor. And usually the oppressor is generally men for these women, because these gals tend to lean more into the feminist mindset. And when she doesn't have a high opinion or strong regard for strong masculine men, usually you're going to have a lot of conflict with that person. So it's always a good idea to, if you're going to date women on a long-term basis, deal with women that are happy, they're pleasant, they find luck. They look at a glass as half full, not half empty. Again, you can date a woman like this, you can marry her, but you're probably going to find that your life won't be as pleasant as it will if you're dealing with a more chipper, happy type of gal.
Yeah, I mean, that totally makes sense. I've also noticed, having dated someone that has a bit of that victim mentality, this phrase, must be nice, like, seemed like no matter what I was doing, like if you're going on a work trip or whatever, like usually a work trip, like something to do for work, and she would try to try to twist it such that I was doing something that she should be able to do, or I don't know. It was like trying to give me guilt about going on a work trip, and that was
that's like an energy vampire. Like, it's emotionally draining to have to deal with that. I mean, I get that sometimes when I'm at the gas station and I'm filling up my McLaren, and there's some random person walking by that's like, nice car, must be nice. It's like, yeah, I did the work. It is nice. Maybe you should try it sometime.
Awesome. Okay, what are the next 5?
All right. So let's do number 6, which is poor with money, violent, extreme jealousy, party girls, tattoos, and piercings.
Let's go with party girls.
Party girls. All right. So party girls are fun, aren't they? Usually women in their 20s, usually up to about 26, 27, 28, before they hit that epiphany phase where they're getting close to 30. Some of their girlfriends, siblings are probably getting married, and they're starting to think about settling down and getting right in life, and, not running around and taking vacations and sleeping with a bunch of different guys. That's your party girl. And by the way, they're not always necessarily in their 20s. I mean, you could have a gal that got married at 20, had her 2.1 kids, and 13, 14 years later in her 30s, she's done with the marriage, she's bored, whatever it happens to be, and she wants to untie the knot and gets out. There's a lot of single mommies out there in their 30s which miss their opportunity to party in their 20s, and they want to sort of relive that era for themselves. And they're kind of these pathetic older party gals. The thing with party women is they don't take you seriously in a relationship. They're the kind of women that will try to shame you or judge you for trying to set boundaries to maintain the health of the relationship. For example, you're dating a girl, you find out she's a party girl, and she's interested in something long-term with you, but she goes out every weekend, several times a weekend, late at night, drinking, coming home, tripping, over herself. Maybe there's vomit, like on her clothes. These kind of women are not, girlfriend type of material. They're certainly not mother type of material. You don't want to deal with a woman that spends her time consuming copious amounts of alcohol in her room full of a bunch of other people doing the exact same thing, probably sharing her body with multiple men, often simultaneously, without any regard for her health or your future health and safety or any of those things. Um, like party girls are fun to hang out with, and if you're in your party years too, fine, enjoy it. But if she comes to you and says, Robert, I want to claim you, I dig your vibe, I don't want to share you, can we be something together? Then one of the things that you should take a look at in her life is, if she's a party girl, put your foot down and say, well, I dig your vibe too, but I can't take a woman seriously that goes out every weekend getting drunk, partying, and marketing herself to other people. Because let's be honest, when a woman goes out partying, she's spending hours doing her makeup, her hair, putting on the right outfit, trying different outfits, the shoes, the bras, all that sort of stuff. And she's going out essentially marketing herself to the world. And, if she's doing that on a regular basis, it's the equivalent of parking a nice car in a crappy neighborhood and just hoping nothing goes wrong. At some point, things will go wrong, right? And if you're the leader in that relationship, if you're the man, which I assume you are, mostly watching this channel, it's your responsibility to set good boundaries around that relationship to make sure that you protect it so that she doesn't get into any kind of trouble.
No, it's well said. I like that analogy too. Where do you draw the line to circumscribe a party girl? Is it the going out every weekend that makes her a party girl, or is it?
I would look, for different guys, they're going to have a different answer as far as what their tolerance level. For me, if I was dating right now, I'm not. I've got a girlfriend, but if I was dating right now and she was the kind of girl that liked to go out, my rule of thumb is I don't recruit a girlfriend. I want to choose women that choose me. So I would just date multiple women simultaneously in a non-monogamous fashion, which is generally considered spinning plates. Wait for her to come to me and say, I dig your vibe, don't want to share you, like, where do we stand, sort of thing. And then that's where, when you can put your foot down, because now you're in a position where you can say, well, I like you too, and you kind of evaluate her life, but this is a red flag. I don't deal with women on a long-term basis that go out partying, drinking, smoking, doing drugs, going to raves, whatever it happens to be. Same thing with running off for weekends. Like, if she's one of these girls, it's like, well, I'm doing a girls' night in New York, and I'm doing a weekend away in Vegas, and I'm doing this thing in Ibiza or Miami. It's like, no, you can't be in a long-term relationship and rely on a woman to pair bond to you in a healthy way if she's running around with her girlfriend still partying in other towns. There's the whole, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Okay, well, if that's her character, then let her be. You can keep her at arm's length. You can date her if you want, but I wouldn't take her seriously.
Yeah, that's sounds like just a lot of rough neighborhoods to be leaving the nice car in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Move on to the next 5?
Yes, please.
All right, so let's do promiscuous women, which is big notch counts, single moms, women that seek validation online, prior sugar babies or current sugar babies, and pathological liars.
Well, I guess seeking validation online has to be the one.
Yeah. So, men and women use social media and mobile devices very differently, don't we? Like, when you see a guy with his phone taking a photograph, it's usually he's taking a photograph of a car, a landscape, the Grand Canyon, a building, somewhere he's traveling at. When women use phones, it's a lot of selfie, maneuvers. So the way that women use social media is generally to get validation. And, you just have to have a nice physique, know how to put on your makeup and take the right angle with the right lighting. And you too can have tens of thousands of thirsty beta males placating your desires and wants for attention. Hey, beauty, you're beautiful today. I love you so much. You can go to any reasonably attractive woman's social media on Instagram, for example, and you'll see it there. Hearts, flashy eyes, burn flames, all that sort of stuff. And these guys are all sliding into their DMs. And for the most part, these guys are generally speaking thirsty beta males that she's not that interested in. But the problem is that she is posting these provocative photographs. Oftentimes they're sexy with a lot of skin exposed. Not for the attention of, here's an archive of my life in photographs, but more so for the validation, which is why the women will go back and they'll look and see how many likes were on the post, the comments, and things like that. Now, you can date a gal like that, but again, when it comes to the talk, and she says, again, Robert, dig your vibe, where do we stand? I want to claim you, sort of thing. That's when you take a good look at her life and potential red flags. And a woman that's online seeking validation from the world, you have to put your foot down. It's like, I like you too, but I can't take a woman seriously that's constantly posting provocative photographs on Instagram. I'm not going to be able to introduce you to my family. I certainly don't want to look at anything long-term with somebody like that. So if you're serious about me, make your Instagram private and stop posting that, and maybe just, deal with family photographs, or just cancel your Instagram. Like, what do you need it for? Because a lot of times, women use it as a dating app, and you'd be surprised. A lot of people right now are going, oh, well, that's controlling, or you're insecure rich. No, it's not at all. You'll actually be surprised. Women will happily take themselves off the market, delete or even hide their Instagram if they see you as a high enough value guy, because they like you that much. They will enter your frame, and they will want to be a compliment to your life. And they will not want to expose a relationship to any kind of risks by posting sexy bikini pictures of themselves for the world to admire.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I feel like especially younger girls, maybe even younger generation in general, might push back and say, that's just normalized now. Like, almost all young women post these provocative photos and whatnot, but maybe that's because they're in a party girl phase.
Yeah.
Like, is there, when you say it's a red flag, it's like if a woman's posting many provocative selfies online, like that would be the red flag? Or I guess I'm trying to ask, is there a bright line here? Because it seems like a lot of people post selfies online. Guys too actually do this a lot now. It's become,
yeah, some guys do.
It was very weird 10 years ago, but now it seems like it's more normal.
Yeah, it's a lot more normalized. It's, it's weird because I sometimes see people walking around making videos for like Instagram stories, for example, just talking to the phone in a public place with everybody around them as if nobody's there. Whereas 10, 15 years ago, that would just be weird. People would be super uncomfortable with that, but it's very normal now. Yeah, so it has been normalized by culture and society, but just because it's been normalized by culture and society doesn't mean that it's right. Doesn't mean that it contributes to a healthy long-term relationship. Again, you are the man, if you're watching this, for the most part, it is incumbent upon you to lead the relationship. Women want to be led. And if you're going to lead a relationship, you need to protect the relationship. You need to protect her. You need to protect the relationship from exposing it to any kind of problems like other dudes sliding into her DMs, right? Do you want her posting that sexy provocative photograph from the day club by the pool, and some rapper or athlete slides into her DM going, hey girl, how you doing? Because now she's going to be thinking about that. And again, guys will be like, oh, well, you're insecure, or if she really loves you, blah, blah, blah. It's not about that. Again, I can go back to the notion of, you have a nice car. Are you going to park it in a crap neighborhood and expose it to potential risk, or are you going to keep it in your garage? Right? And some women will push back and they'll say, I'm not going to do that for you, or you're too controlling. That's fine. That girl's made for the streets. Let her do what she's going to do. Some other guy will pick her up, and she will become his problem. But if you want, again, a wonderful, pleasant, happy, and loving type of relationship, it's a better idea not to invite a woman into your life that posts provocative photographs online looking for validation. Same thing with OnlyFans. It's funny to me how that is now almost normalized, how so many girls seem to think, oh, it's okay for me to sell pictures of my butthole online to random thirsty betas because it's a way to earn a living. It's prostitution. You can call it whatever you want. It's not a good thing, and it's certainly not healthy for a relationship. No guy wants his girlfriend, showing her private parts to the world for $5.99 a month.
Right.
I really hope you guys enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch the full-length podcast, you can find that over here, that clip's from. If you're newer to the channel, make sure you hit subscribe over here, and pin down below in the top comment, you'll find a bunch of useful links to my website, my supplement line, books, and a bunch of other stuff. Have an amazing day. Peace out.